Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic.
And I am Most Evil Lifeform.
And this is another reaction and discussion for RWBY Season 6, Episode 6. As always, if you want to see the reaction itself, go down into our description, follow the links, replace the circumflex dot parts with real dots, and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear our thoughts about this episode. So, see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back!
Hello!
What? Too much? Okay.
Welcome back!
Yeah, well, you have no clue. That's, it is the thing I say like every time. So after a year of saying that, I'm a little bit brainwashed. So, nice episode. I really liked it. There was quite a lot in. So first things first, we already discussed last time the option that there is like a grim afflicting your mind, like pulling you into. We thought about pulling you to sleep, which they did in the end, but it's not really what their power is. It was by the amount of them that they calmed everyone and calmed so far. Yeah, but they calmed so far that they just died by not doing anything.
They drain their will to live. So
yeah, for everything, yeah. That was I think they did it quite subtle. I like that. There was a moment when you checked that first with the eyes. The thing that the glow in the eyes was gone. I did not see that the first time. We both realized that they were like getting depressed and some I mean it
apathetic,
was fitting.
So
yeah, I mean it was fitting in the storyline. With being betrayed by Oz before, so that they were like, what are we doing this for? It made sense, but then they all did that and it just felt like, where's the spirit? Where's the inner fire? They were not searching for an alternative, They were just like giving up. And that was when for me, it felt like, okay, there's more. And then you mentioned the eyes. And I was like, yes, that's it. And then, like, in the next 30 seconds, you could see it clearly when the three of them, Blake, Yang, and Weiss,
standing beside each other and had no glow in their eyes anymore.
That was so clear then, even the way they stood, like shoulders hanging and everything. Very nicely done. I like the idea of this Grimm. It goes away from the typical animal Grimm that they
goes
had.
Away from, in general, the Grimms they had before in the whole previous seasons. It has a completely different approach on what is dangerous about them, especially this kind of ability which actually drains will to live is something else. But I try to currently puzzle this in the bigger picture, because what was standing out for me is that they were focused on the artifact, on the relic.
Yeah, that was strange, right?
And this is I mean, okay, Salem seemed to be in control somehow here, but they were there so long ago before. So
I'm not sure. I don't think it is Salem in general. There are two options there. The one thing is Salem being like the queen of the Grimm. Maybe she has some kind of passive effect on them that they kind of feel and know what she wants.
The thing is also, we heard this before, that Grimm are attracted to relics.
And that's it.
It was never explained why.
It is something created by the gods.
So,
I mean, they were created directly by one of the gods. So,
but this was a relic created by the god of light.
But the other Grimms were attracted to it as well. So it's fitting they were like, give us the relic. Give us the shining thing. We don't know what it is, but we want it.
There has to be something behind it. It's just like, okay, why would exactly the Grimm be attracted to something?
I mean...
Especially since...
I mean, let's go meta. Let's go a step above. Right now, we do have like 3 races on this planet. Humans and faunus, who are possibly able to work together, and the Grimm, who are like their very own race. What would happen? Who would this planet belong to if faunus and humans were gone? So, I mean, in the end, the gods of light and darkness were said to have created humanity together. The god of darkness, who was always the one for destruction, created the Grimm. They are a creation. They are beings of destruction, sure, but they are an existing life form, a weird one, no question there. So maybe somewhere deep down it is like their will them trying to take over the planet. And if they could get the relics together, they could summon the gods without knowing, possibly.
That's the thing. We don't have. I mean, Salem is currently the queen, and then the common hive intelligence, if you want to say it like that. And you have some. We don't know how old those Grimms are. That they are not big, and we learned that over time the Grimms get bigger and bigger the older they are, right? Yes. So they are not big in the sense of. So I wouldn't assume that they are super old. So I don't assume that they are super intelligent, because with age Grimms get more intelligent. Yes. So,
well, we don't know. Maybe there's like, this is one pack.
I just don't. The thing is, they feed off of negative emotions. So that's the thing. I don't know why they would be attracted to it. They are not intelligent. At least those are not intelligent. Maybe they are. Maybe this type of Grimm is actually a hive itself. So they maybe become more intelligent the more they are together. The
numbers.
Yeah.
By the way, thus you mentioned, Grimm are attracted by negative emotions. Those here, the Grimm, are getting rid of the emotions at all.
I don't think that it's that they get rid of the emotion. They get rid of will. This is something different.
Okay, but are they attracted to them?
To what?
To the emotions?
Well, they feed off. They feed off those emotions, so that's why they were, and that's why the whole previous storylines of the cities they were set into terror to attract.
I'm talking about those Grimm in special.
I mean, currently they can introduce any Grimms.
Yes.
So and they can set up new rules because
necessity.
No, I don't call it necessity. Sure. Now, what I meant is that they can set up new rules for Grimm because, like, okay, in the past you have not been told everything.
What I would have liked more to see is, I mean, they were shouting and they lost their will.
And it's
what I would have liked to see is that instead of like a shout effect, they would have like a draw-in effect, like they draw it from you instead of push it out, because it is said they feed from emotions. So what if they swallow your emotions and then you get drained and lose your will, you know?
I think this is something different, because this is their attack, while this other one is their form of feeding. But the thing is, where I think this is a little bit of a problem is, Maria said she knows them. Of course she knows, because she has silver eyes, blah, blah, blah. The thing is, those girls, came from an academy who should train them to be prepared. So this is not a new Grimm in the sense of it was created anew, because Maria knew of them already. So the academy should have known of them as well.
But it seems to be one that is not common. It is not out in the wild normally, although, well, it is in the wild here. Maybe it's more on the continent they are right now. I think Crow knew it when he saw it, but he was so drunk. I mean, it was pretty clever of making him drunk, so you don't have the back of having a trained huntsman there in his prime. So that's how they took him out. Just story-wise. Not saying I like it. But I guess he recognized those. I would just say they are not such a common Grimm. We have met the most common Grimm in the past. The wolves and so on and so forth. And now we get more and more specific other Grimms who are more in specific areas or, uncommon to fight. I mean, they are not finished in their academy studies.
I don't think that they are in this region. Maria doesn't seem to be from Atlas.
It's not Atlas. What? We are still in the other continent, which I forgot already.
Yeah, but so you cannot say that, because then they are still on the continent where they are from.
No, they have an academy in the area.
Well, they are far away from that already, aren't they?
In the north of it, but still the continent. But no, I think the major thing is they are still first, or in this case, second-year students of a 3-year program. So Grimms that are more uncommon, that are more special, will possibly be trained later on.
I just think it's more of a plot hole.
Nah. I see that very likely in season 1, 2, and 3. They never thought of those Grimms.
True, that's why I said it's probably just a plot
but
hole.
But it can still be justified by saying those will be learned in year number 3 in the academy.
I think It was just it's a cool Grimm. It's not like I mind the Grimm. I don't do that. I think that we will probably have other Grimms introduced as well. It's just for me. Okay, is this now not just to introduce another Grimm, but for me it's more about the Curse of the Relic. That's that's the only thing I have here, which I'm like, why are they extracting? It's not like I say, okay, they shouldn't. It's more like, okay, why?
Why are they attracted to the relics? Yes.
There is either the reason because of Salem. So it's more maybe a coincidence that, okay, she recognizes maybe she is connected to them in some sort.
But that's not that. They can feel the relics. That is something that Salem can't. She cannot feel them unless her Grimm part can do it somehow. But the Grimm feel the energy, the vibe, whatever, the existence of the relics when they are close and get drawn towards it, like towards emotions. So you could say maybe the relics emit like emotions. They have like their very own effects on the world. What I find a bit strange about those Grimm is that they go a little bit against the theory of the emotion being what lures the Grimm in, and they kind of feed on the emotions.
Yes.
That's what's said, because them lowering the emotions by getting into an apathy effect is contradicting that a little bit.
That's true.
But it's okay because it is their way of fighting. So I will just take
that they follow each other, right? Did I catch this correctly? And initially, the one who built this settlement tried to keep everyone calm in order to save money on the huntsmen.
Yes.
So he captured 2 of them, I think it was.
That was his idea.
The others were following.
So it's very likely that those Grimm will not work together with other Grimms.
Maybe.
Because the other Grimms can't feed in their presence because they just lower everything. I like the fact that they made them slow. I mentioned it already in the reaction itself. So the typical zombie being very slow.
Also that they have human-esque.
Yes. It's a typical zombie, kill you by time. And if you cannot escape anymore, just by number. Yeah, by number, because you cannot escape.
The number is important here because it seems that 2 of them didn't have a big effect. Yes. That they were just calming everyone and that they were not having the big effect. But the number of them was the power
that made the village die.
Basically.
So, and in the end, reason was the stupidity or I wouldn't say stupidity, what is the word? Adolescence?
Miscalculation.
Yeah, well, that's too nice. Of this one, of Mr. Brunswick, who was portrayed, apart from this, as very clever, as someone who always had an answer for problems, who thought like using Grimm for his own benefits might work out. And it didn't.
Was careless, I guess.
Yes.
It was careless to think that you can use Grimms for your own advantage without having other consequences.
Yeah. It's always the thing, misusing. Yeah, well, that's why he's dead and everyone is as well. So that's one thing, the main story. I liked it. Because that is a general, over 2 stories over just 2 episodes, a small arc. And I like it because it is this, don't do it, kids. I hope you learn something. It is the fairy tale effect,
Yeah, but
nice.
I mean, the main story for me is more about Maria and the Silver Eyes thing.
I said main story of those 2 plots, of this arc. Maria. Silver Eyes. I mean, we discussed it before, and I guess like everyone was like, so she has her eyes hidden, there has to be something with her eyes. In this series, eyes are so important. So if you cannot see the eyes of a person, this normally has to mean something. So she said herself, she had silver eyes. We saw from her perspective for a moment in just before this moment here.
This bluish tint in her vision.
Exactly. So she cannot see really colors. It's all very bluish, so she can't be very sure about colors. At least for eye colors, she wasn't sure. And she had silver eyes in the past, so very likely a huntress from the past. Experienced, which explains the calm as well. She's like, what the heck?
So wait. It was said that silver eyes are super rare.
Yes.
It says that silver eyes are inherited.
So I'm not sure if that was said.
Well, the thing is, Ruby's mother had silver eyes.
Yes, but that doesn't mean it has to be inherited.
But it indicates it a lot.
It makes yeah. You want to go for it? Maybe she's a family member.
We never heard about her grandma or anything.
No question there. I guess not, because I think Bro, as example, should know something about that. I mean, he's related, and he came around the world enough to possibly know that. It still could be like
a great-grand-aunt.
Yeah, something like that. But I don't think we need that. I would more like it if it wouldn't be, you know? It would be more nice to see someone who's not related to this family, like half of the plot line. It feels like sometimes, you know? Someone else would be nice.
Well, the thing is that Ruby and Crow are not actually related.
Not by blood.
Right.
But by family.
By family, but just basically he's not really into the family of Rose.
Yeah, but well, I wouldn't say he searched everything, but I guess he could know that. However, I would more like it if she wouldn't be related to Ruby. I personally would more like it. It would be okay if she would be like grandmother, grand-aunt, something like that. But I think the questioning of do you have relatives and people you love, I think it was more about how to use your eyes. It was about
it is about the
saving
ability.
people you love, and we've seen that with Pyrrha in the past when she used it because Pyrrha was in danger. In the end, died, and we've seen it now for Blake that she used it not. Oh my god, a Grimm. But instead of someone I love needs help. And that's how... I mean, it looks like lights. Even you... Mel commented on that when I chose this picture. It looks like she has lights out of eyes, which is what it is in the end.
You can read in the dark.
But only for a second.
Well,
and then she has to think of someone she loves again.
You don't know how long that can last. I mean, we just saw it. Basically glimpses of it, I think. I think this ability can do a lot more, and Maria can train her on this. But
so like some kind of lightning from the eyes which she can move around.
X-Men.
I mean it's in the end a bit like the fire from a dragon, the fire breath. If she could do it like for some seconds.
The biggest difference here now is that previously when she was using it, she basically she fainted. Yes. And basically was not remembering a lot of it. It was
the first time.
Right now, she's back again instantly.
Yeah, but it wasn't so strong the first time. In this episode, the first time was just like, and the
which was also very convenient.
It was.
Blake
was endangered.
Others were in danger previously too.
But not so... I mean, they were with their claws nearly in her by then.
Yeah.
It was an instant effect of you have a half second or she's dead. The claws were coming down on her body and they would just...
other very close.
They had to go for the story somewhere.
I know. That's why I said it's very convenient.
If we always discuss when something is used for the story... I have this in other series, and I tend to go with one major thing. I realized this has happened. I realized it's very likely for the story. So I will tell you that, number one, I've seen it. Number two, I will ignore this fact for the story. Let's go on. It's the thing which is the best to do. Because if you always point out where the writers did make mistakes or where like, oh, we forgot something, we have to put it in now.
It's not a mistake. If it's convenient, it's convenient. That's why I said, okay, it's very convenient. It's not like, okay, you see this way a lot often. You see this a lot in other series as well. So
yes. So much for the silver eyes. Very good. They bring it in finally because we waited for it quite a while.
It was like it was season 3, right? And then it was
in the end
gone.
Yeah. And then they mentioned it afterwards in the end of season 3,
shortly.
Right? Crow told her about what it means.
Yeah, and then it was not.
And there was never ever again.
It was not mentioned. Ruby was not asking for it again. Not even us. This was the most surprising thing that it wasn't that topic.
Forgot it. They dropped the topic. They forgot it. Maybe they didn't know how to handle it. We don't know. But we discussed it then already that this was a problem with that if someone who wrote this series passed away, and his ideas and storylines were not so specified anymore, so they possibly struggled with what to do next. So they bring it in now. I like it. I like the fact that she has kind of a mentor for it. And by the way, it's another old person. This time, the old person looks like an old person, not like a young boy. Just saying. I'm kind of waiting. No, I'm not. It would have been nice if Maria knew Oz somehow. I mean, she's old enough and she's kind of special, having had silver eyes. But Oz would have mentioned something, in my opinion, or she might have mentioned something.
Plus, this is what confused me. There was a very dangerous situation and Oz did not come out.
Yes, he really is in deep hiding.
Oh, yeah.
What if they kill Oscar? Oh my, he gets reborn. Seriously,
no, it's more about that the others. I mean, the relic? He did care about the relic, and the relic was nearly in the hands of the Grimms. He
was very, I think he was hurt in many ways personally as well, about the fact that they don't trust him at all now. This instant reaction from everyone was so negative that he just went into deep hiding.
I don't actually even think that it's more about himself. It's like maybe you are right.
I mean, he has seen his own past again. We shouldn't forget that.
Yeah,
and
but
possibly
they said
like the first time.
The initial or this last sentence of him, this maybe you are right, is more about the self-reflection and not about like they hate me. It's like, okay, they think I am a certain person or I'm doing something wrong.
So he doubts himself now. I mean, what we shouldn't forget about Oz in this moment, Team RWBY and Crow and everyone watched the help of Jin what happened in the past. But possibly it was the first time that Oz did live through his own history again. His multiple deaths, his rebirth, his children, the time that he was living with his love and lost her.
And the
children. So there was just this short moment where they showed how he felt multiple generations long after losing everything into depression, drinking and everything.
He was also in tears and on his knees directly after,
and he needed these multiple lives to get over it. And now this is all back in fresh again. What he partially like pressed away, partially he tried to ignore.
This makes him very vulnerable. That's why
that's
why maybe also why those words of the girls and
were so harsh in our opinion. Yes,
really maybe even hitting him stronger than they have intended. Yes. Yeah.
So that's that. However, Silver Eyes, back to Maria. Cool character, nice. I kind of waited for her to do something.
Yeah, me too. To fight or something with her staff.
Yes. The staff has eyes. I was waiting for like, I don't know, she punches it on the ground and there's like doing lightning or whatever. So I was waiting for this typical revelation of a character who's just walking by and then is OP.
And she didn't. She also said before that she is far from being defenseless.
Yes, but she did not fight. And
right.
She, it was the option to show a character as being incredibly strong. They didn't, but instead they showed her as being wise and being clever and able to support others. I like that. I like that they didn't go for this easy way, which they could have done, I think.
I still think we will see something from
there
her.
Will be something more.
And sure. It will be funny.
She is entertaining. There's no question. Whoever wrote this character, kudos. Really well done. I like the characters. So much for them. And now we have Crow. Because there we have wine in the picture as well. I see that he falls into a depression, into a bad mood because of feeling betrayed and feels like his life was meaningless in the last decades. Because everything he believed in and he fought for, that he lost his sister for, his family and everything, that he kept away from humanity, it's not all Oz's fault, but right now, for him, that is the easy way to say it's Oz's fault. And I wasted everything. He just sees negative now.
And he's falling again in the I am the unlucky charm.
Which was partially now caused by Maria by pointing it out.
No,
which was
he was saying it before.
Yeah,
it's with when he said with me being here.
Yeah.
That was before. This was not just Maria.
I think he's not just falling into depression. He's like jumping into it. He kind of embraces it now.
That's true. He embraces it a lot and falling back into his old drinking habits.
Yes, and it's a problem because you can see in the moment when he told RWBY to lay the others to sleep. He will stay awake. I was like, this will go down. I asked myself if RWBY maybe would go into the room and say, Uncle Crow said to go sleep. I will stay awake to watch out. Additionally, said she's like ignoring him partially.
I somehow expected that the girls go to sleep and Maria is talking to Crow. That's what I had somehow
maybe later.
Expected.
Maybe. You know the wise old woman who helps the youngster?
Well, she will rather hit him on the head with her staff. That's where her
I was waiting for something like that from RWBY a little bit. When she had we had the moment when she threw the bottle against the wall and Crow woke up and looked at it. And there was a moment when I think he realized, crap, I screwed up. But it wasn't enough. I think he needs, I don't know, like a slap from his two girls there. That they really, really shake him up and tell him, you are the adult. You are the one who has to defend us now here, you know?
I somehow wait for this moment where it is revealed that his ability with the unluckiness is something else in reality. Like defying even worse. Like you push. It's something much worse could have happened. While, for example, with the car, with the trailer, that it went down in this moment, he put his boots on, and not later on, so they are not stuck on the road.
I know what you mean.
So he is actually preventing a lot worse, but it always looks like something is going bad.
I mean, we know that he uses his bad luck in fighting for his benefits.
Right.
Sure. It's a nice option. Why not? But
that's something which actually will change his mindset about it, because this is something I am like, this is a weird ability. Every ability is usually very useful in a more positive way, and his ability is useful too. But you could always put it in another light, you know.
The idea of things that will happen to you or others you like soon will happen now, that you can control it.
Yeah, or that you actually will weaken it to a sense that it's just like tough luck and not devastating.
But then you remember the fight with Tyrion, where the house nearly fell down on RWBY. He could just help and get her out of the way, but due to that got stabbed. You remember that one?
Yeah, but maybe actually if this wouldn't have happened, it would have actually killed RWBY. Because
in the fight it would have happened later on when he wasn't around, you mean?
Yeah, for example. It's always like, okay, I'm waiting for something like that, because right now it's like, how can he ever get out of his depression this way?
It would be a nice option. I mean, his depression is not only about his bad luck charm. I mean, it is a clear part. It's a big part, but
this was also before the whole us thing.
Yes, but he wasn't depressed then. It was inspired, and a big part of it is his feeling that his last decades of life were wasted. Because due to what he learned now from Jin, he doubts what he did in the past is useful. Due to partially the comment of you, by the way, you is us and not everyone else, can't defeat Salem. And this doubting, he thinks we can't defeat Salem. Why did I waste my life for that? Everything is for nothing. That is the main problem. And once he realizes it's not, it is still valuable what you do, then he can challenge and tackle his own problem with the bad luck charm.
I think
it just merges so nicely.
He was prone to it before, because he was a loner before. He stood away from people because he thought, okay, every time I'm around someone, I'm hurting them.
But he's still pushing them away. He's still... I mean, he always stays lonely because he is the loner in his heart by now. He learned it to be.
Yeah, he learned it to be because of his unlucky charm.
Yeah, bad luck charm is what it said. I'm a bad luck charm. He always said it about himself. I mean, it's a merging of multiple things, and they the main problem is that at the moment he seems to like it. And he seems to enjoy being
It's actually
down.
a very, very good study in psychology there, because it's an old habit which you embrace. You are known, you know what this feels like. It's something safe, something secure. So he is falling back to this old habit of being not as much responsible.
Yeah. But that means that right now the girls, at least partially, have not the real backup of a trained huntsman, which they had in the beginning. But we know they are able to fight for themselves, so it's okay. The wisdom, the knowledge they had from Crow partially now comes in the form of Maria, in many ways. Who is additionally kind of a backbone when it comes to the right decisions, you know, and calming everything down. Very fitting. So I like this new group dynamic, and they're moving with the motorcycle now. Works, it seems, nicely.
I wouldn't have expected that, because after a snowstorm, roads, and those roads are not maintained, are usually not drivable, especially not with a bike.
But that is not a normal bike.
It's convenient.
It's Yangs. And she is fire, so it was everything will melt away before her. We can even be surprised that not behind her on it standing is Wise just creating glyphs on the road that they cannot slither away, you know?
True.
Or just on her tires, like there are little glyphs on it or stuff like that.
That is actually a very good idea.
Yeah, the question is, can she do that like permanently? I don't think so. However, I think that's it, right? Nice episode, nice story arc. I liked it. And the next time...
And it is finished, especially when Maria threw away the book.
Yes.
This little story is over.
Very clear. So, question is next time. I ask myself if maybe we will see the others. We haven't seen much of them yet.
Sure.
Just an option. Or maybe a little bit of the evil guys again, Salem and her people, or maybe Cinder
what are they
and
up
Neo.
to, because they had some plans as well.
So it's quite open right now. So I will see you next time. We will see you next time. And until then, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Relax and Panic.
And I am Most Evil Life Form.
Goodbye and out.
Bye.